But the more, and I'll call it woke media, want to call it missing white woman syndrome. Academics quick to jump on board. CNN, for example, quoted one of them saying, quote, "When looking at the case, it has all the makings of a story. National, local news media are going to jump all over." And the professor says that's because Walshe is white and, quote, attractive and appears to live in a community where there isn't an expectation that such a disappearance would occur. A writer for Ana Walshe's hometown paper, the Boston Globe, said another missing white woman dominates the news. Columnist Joan Veneke argues, writing, quote, "How newsworthy are you?" As the blanket media coverage about the disappearance of Ana Walshe, 39-year-old mother of three, illustrates yet again, if you're young, white, and pretty, and live in a place where horrific crime is not supposed to take place, you are very newsworthy. But why wouldn't it add to the mystery of it all that it is an area where there's very little crime? That certainly makes it point more to the husband, which is part of the fascination, not their race. Think about what has been the crime story in the past decade that has led to more attention and more fascination than maybe any other. It's probably the case of Adnan Syed, the subject of the wildly popular Serial podcast. Baltimore high schooler was convicted of the 1999 murder of Hae Min Lee. Before the conviction was vacated last year, that was a case in which neither the alleged perpetrator nor the victim was white. It's just that some cases grab you. Adnan Syed case was one of them. The Ana Walshe case is another. There are factors that make them unique and interesting. Joining us now is Danielle Slakoff. She's assistant professor of criminal justice at California State University, Sacramento, has published a study on missing white women syndrome. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so what am I getting wrong here?
Thanks so much for having me today, Dan. And the first thing I want to say is that Ana is absolutely worthy of the attention that she's getting, and so are so many other missing people. I'm continuing to pray for a positive outcome for her and for her children, her family, and her loved ones. So whenever I speak about the missing white woman syndrome and my personal work, I think it's important to start with that, because I think people sometimes take it to mean that I'm saying other people don't matter, and that's not at all what I'm saying. So whether I think this is the missing white woman syndrome, so I actually think it's too soon to say at this point. She was just reported missing on January 4th and was last seen on New Year's Day. I, again, think it's just too soon to say that. What I can tell you is what my own research has shown on this topic. So my colleague, Dr. Hank Fradella, and I actually looked at 4 years worth of newspaper stories from 11 different newspapers, looking at the articles about missing white women and missing Black women and girls. And what we found was that the missing white women received more initial coverage and they received more repeated coverage. And the reason that repeated coverage is important is because that means that the consumer who may not be tuning in every day, who may not be as media connected as you or I, they're still likely to see it in passing, right? So I can speak to the trend, but I think it is too soon to say.
So yeah. You refer to missing people, right? This is about the amount of coverage of missing people. This isn't a missing person story. This is a potential crime story. This is about the husband. I mean, when I think about the Scott Peterson case, right, about his pregnant wife, Lacey, and the same argument was made at the time about that, right? Oh, she's a white woman, et cetera. Man, you find me another case where pregnant, 8 months, wealthy-ish husband suspected in the murder, all sorts of fascinating questions, and it involves someone of color, and the story wasn't covered, I'll listen. But I haven't seen that.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you bring that up, because I do think that there are sometimes these X factors that play in. So with the Ana Walshe story, there's no question that a lot of the coverage has been focused on her husband in this case and his past criminal activity, his arrests, right? So I do think that there are sometimes these X factors that play in. But what I can tell you is that there is a small but growing body of research that looks at the race of missing people and has found that missing white people do tend to get more coverage. You know, that doesn't take into account other factors. So another thing I'll mention is age. So what's interesting is that younger missing people do tend to get more attention, regardless of race.
Well, but thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.